Hello everyone and welcome back to IMO Reviews. Today we are sadly discussing Mean Girls, directed by Samantha, Jayne and Arturo Perez Jr. and starring Angourie Rice, Reneé Rapp, Christopher Briney, Tina Fey, Tim Meadows and more. This is a step-by-step, line-for-line remake of the 2004 hit movie starring Lindsay Lohan, this time without any of the charm or charisma and stuffed to the brim with generic songs instead of interesting characters and story. Do I have any positives? No. Nope. None. Nada. Yes, I may have my butcher's knife already sharp, but before I go and slaughter this movie, allow me to make it clear. This isn't anything personal against the movie. This isn't somewhere women doing movies and I'm upset. No, I'm upset because I genuinely like the original film. I grew up in a household of women. I had to watch a lot of Mrs. Congeniality, The Princess Diaries, Legally Blonde, when actually I wanted to watch Batman or Spider-Man or, you know, something a bit more my flavour. But every now and then, one of those Reese Witherspoon's Patrick Dempsey type of movies would actually work on me. Mean Girls probably being the most effective. I never had any issue with my sister putting Mean Girls on. In fact, I quite enjoyed it. I think it's a well-written movie. I think it's pretty well performed. I like a lot of the cast. And I do think they nail that jungle high school angle that they're going for. You can definitely relate to it, especially in your teenage years. It's far from perfect, but I'd give it an 8 out of 10 from memory. So whose thick as shit idea was it to remake it in the first place? You don't need to remake good movies that are still in people's memories that aren't even 30 years old yet. Give it a bloody chance, would ya? And I'm not exaggerating, this is literally beat for beat, sometimes even word for word. So what's the damn point then? Why don't I just put on the original? Why remake something if you're going to do it exactly the same? The only example I have of that ever worked was Michael Haneke's Funny Games. Sure, he changed the cast and the language of which the film is spoken in, but he did that to widen the audience, not to better the film or worsen the film. Funny Games US is the exception to the rule. If you are going to remake something, I'd rather you did something completely different with it, or fixed up what the first one got wrong, which you definitely could have done because Mean Girls is not perfect. Have something to say, have improvements. Whereas this, unfortunately, seems to consistently just detract from the original work. This was awful from the opening. It made no sense with the opening scene. Why does it start with the friends singing? Characters we haven't been introduced to yet. I don't know who these people are, and I don't like them singing this song. What a terrible way to make me like somebody. It's so rushed from the get-go, and that is a running thing with this movie. There are portions that are just skipped clean over because we needed to jam in a generic song that I've already forgotten. It looks appallingly cheap. The green screen of Africa is hilariously bad. The cinematography in general is pretty damn poor. There is a close-up angle on the main girl's face when she's running later in the film, and it's very unforgiving. Why they went with that angle, I don't know at all, but I like it a lot for all the wrong reasons. The dancing is just miserably lazy. It's all just sort of, ooh, stroking my hair, ooh, fluffing this, ah. Is there any choreography? It doesn't seem so. The performances are bad. The songs are just forgettable. It's like they were written in 2 minutes flat and that'll bloody do. And I don't think any single song here has a reason to exist. They say nothing that you would not have captured had the scene just naturally played out. It adds nothing and just wastes potential time where we could have done something. We actually stop to sing the names of the characters. Does that need a song? Does that actually need a song? My name is IMO, you should watch the show. Come on. One of the songs towards the end is kind of a rap. That was easily my favourite ever. I was just wide-eyed and going, oh my god, yes, please break out into rap. At least it tried to be a rap, at least for a minute, and then it stops, but I still loved it. The performances are really bad. They're just generic rehashes of what the original cast did, and they're nowhere near as fun or fleshed out. The main girl, she was awful. I kind of feel sorry for her, because I don't necessarily think it's all her. I think a lot of this falls on the direction, because some of her shots genuinely come across like she hasn't been told action. She looks like she's just sort of standing there waiting for a line. There's a part where Regina George arrives for the first time and her reaction was amazing. Where everyone else is over the top and, oh my god, she literally stands there with duck face like, Huh? I just can't quite wrap my head around the fact that somebody somewhere watched the original and said, do you know what this is missing? Generic, forgettable songs that make the experience completely hateful. It doesn't fix anything that the first film gets wrong. In fact, it just continues to stumble straight into those same mistakes. They even butchered the Glen Coco line, and that might just be the final straw for me, because that line lives rent-free in my head for no reason whatsoever. I don't know. I don't make sense sometimes.
For you, Glen Coco. You go, Glen Coco.
I actively had to start drifting off and thinking about other things to get through this. It was such a miserable, repetitive slog of nothingness. It's so dead on arrival. It is such a tired attempt of a remake. The cast are practically yawning through their lines at times. It's so pointlessly dull. Tim Meadows and Tina Fey come back. Why? And as the same characters, despite others being recast and some of the others being cameos as completely different characters. It's just so confusing. What is actually going on here? Where are we? What time is it? Because the dialogue is that of the 2000s movie when it came out, and yet it seems to be modern day with modern phones. Just, did anybody stop to think about this? Even for a second? The students' and the teachers' behaviour is very weird. I think they think they're funny. It's not. It's just jarringly odd at times. And I thought I would share with you the text message that I sent to Mrs. IMO after walking out this film. The long-winded vent that I had to just get off my chest because she was smart enough to avoid this. I, on the other hand, decided to open a movie reviewing channel. The crosses we have to bear. But here's what I said to Mrs. IMO. It is literally beat for beat, line for line, the exact same film without any of the charm, any of the memorable moments or chemistry between the characters. Some of the acting is laughably shit, the new Lohan is the worst of them all, the songs don't have any reason to exist and there's too many of them, and every single one has been instantly forgettable. The dancing is shit, and it feels like I'm watching Miss Rachel at times. This is laughably bad. It's genuinely a contender for worst of the year already. What is the actual fucking point of this? So yeah, I was a happy bunny walking out the cinema yesterday. And if you haven't guessed already, I'm going to give Mean Girls a 1 out of 10. Maybe younger female audiences might enjoy this, and if you're into musicals, hey, maybe it'll work for you. But I just can't get past the resounding factor of if I wanted to watch a good version of this story, I would just watch the original. This can't help but feel like one of the most pointless experiences I've ever had in the cinema. Thank you for watching this review. Please be sure to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and please do hit that comment section as well. Have you seen Mean Girls? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comment section below. And of course, if you haven't had enough of this crazy ginger, well, you can always click on these suggested videos right here and get yourself lost in an IMO wormhole. But if not, take care, and I look forward to seeing you on the next review.